vez que me he quedado solo, Iván.
Ветер нам больше не помеха. Шведский Falun готовится принять финальные соревнования у мужчин-двоеборцев и разыграть первый комплект медалей в этом виде спорта. Все готово к началу, готовы и наши двоеборцы, готовы и мы с вами. Но вначале давайте посмотрим программу сегодняшнего дня. В начале 10 километров гонка по системе Гундерсена у мужчин-двоеборцев. Затем девушки разыграют первый комплект медалей в прыжках на все том же трамплине. Это будет 18:45 по московскому времени. Ну а в 20:45 мужская квалификация. Тоже очень и очень любопытная. Остается считанные минуты до начала самой гонки. Ну а мы пока возьмем небольшую рекламную паузу, после которой обязательно вернемся. Никуда не уходите.
Well, welcome back to Falun, continuation of the Nordic World Championships. The Nordic combined gold medal is up for stake today. Lami Chapuis, former champion, is ready to go. Frenzel, the best of the jumpers. Our commentators, David Goldstrom and Mike Dixon.
Thanks very much, Patrick, and Mike Dixon alongside me. And the journey, 10,000 meters, 4 2.5-kilometer loops. And they are starting in the order in which they finished. It's the reverse order. So Erik Frenzel, with a 21-second advantage, will be saying to Yoshito Watabe, catch me if you can. And the defending world champion, Jason Lamy Chapuis, 25 seconds back. Akito Watabe, 27. Ridzek, 31 seconds. So the Olympic champion and the world champion only separated by 25 seconds. Coming under starters' orders, it's 4 times round the 2.5-kilometer loop. And Mike, Erik Frenzel away. You skied the track within the last couple of hours. What did you make of it?
It's David, I think Frenzel will be happy with the profile of this track. It's a very simple but upward climb for the first kilometre, and then actually it's quite simple for the next 500 meters. It's mostly descent before the little murder back in, as it's called, or killer hill, and that's the most difficult part of the course, which we can see in the stadium. And I think Erik Frenzel must be feeling good about that with a 21-second advantage.
So Mike, what's your take on Mike, what's your take on the tactics here for Erik Frenzel? Does he try and defend the 21 seconds, or does he accept that he's going to be closed down on and then put himself amongst the group and play the tactical game?
Do you know, I think Frenzel, it was just over, in fact, an hour ago that he was still jumping. Of course, his coaches will have given him some advice on strategy, but I think his clear plan will be to David to try and keep that lead. If he lets the Jason Lamy Chapuis or Watabe brothers catch him, even Ridzek, then he reduces his chance, I think, for that gold medal. So he has to keep strong and try and keep that 21-second advantage.
Well, we've gone through the start list after the jumping, and the people that we believe could be in the run for the gold medals, obviously Erik Frenzel, Jason Lamy Chapuis, Akito Watabe and Johannes Ridzek. They are in the first 5 places, separated by just 31 seconds. But Jan Schmidt in 7th place, 49 seconds off the lead. He could well play a part, as could Germany's Timo Edelman, 9th place, and Tino with 56 seconds to find. But that is possible. Jürgen Grobak in 11th place, just over a minute behind. He is a real danger because his cross-country skiing is absolutely superb, and he's only got 61 seconds to find. I say 61 seconds, it is a lot, but for his accomplishments over the World Cup season, it would seem that we have to put him in the list of contenders.
Oh, very much. This was the part I was talking about, David, nearly up to a kilometre at this moment. It's been gentle uphill, and Frenzel has kept the pace strong. He's determined not to let this group, and they're going to form as a group, they're going to maybe work as a group to try and close him down, but it's looking good for Frenzel at this moment. Nobody will want to lead this chasing pack, David, and I must say, just an hour and a half ago, these tracks were soaking wet, and every time you pressed your ski in, you were up to calf boot depth, so they've been around there with the track machine to press it down. Not the big heavy machine, but certainly conditions are pretty good right now.
So Frenzel out on his own, and Jason Lamy-Chapuis in the black and yellow for France. Then 4, that's Akito Watabe. Akito, the only man to ever win a race here in Falun. That was last year, sort of dress rehearsal. But that was the big hill, Gundersen, because the normal hill was actually cancelled due to inclement weather. And Ridsek for Germany there, third in that little gaggle in the orange and black race suits. Oh, and 7 in trouble there, Jan Schmidt.
That's the trouble on this course today, David. The corners, because it is so warm, it's plus 6 degrees, the sun's been on the track, it is quite difficult to get your balance. As soon as these skinny skis press through the surface, it gets you off balance. Frenzel has kept its plan A. He's adopting, he's trying to keep this advantage. He's moved from 21 advantage to 25. Jason Lamy-Chapuis leading the chase.
Yeah, Jan Schmidt, that's a pity, because he really wanted to get into that second chasing group to work with them to try and close the gap. Eric Frenzel, this is a familiar situation for him. 21 seconds, it's a useful cushion, but it's not a decisive cushion.
This is the tough part of the track, David. We can see this from the stadium, and it just climbs up and up and up. This was the sprint course yesterday for the cross-country skiers, and in these wet conditions, it multiplies it by a factor of, well, 5% more difficult, my estimations. You see how wet the snow is. They're breaking through the prepared surface.
There's the chasing posse, 6 there. That's Håvard Clemensen, just to the right there of Norway. 4 in there, that's Akito Watabe. And Ridsek wearing 5 for Germany. Also Yoshito Watabe, the younger brother of Akito, who produced 95 meters on the hill. One of the better efforts in terms of distance, also amongst that second group.
Here's the switchback. You carry some, well, yesterday the cross-country skiers had 53 kilometers an hour maximum, a little less today because it's so soft, probably about 47 kilometers an hour, and you have to be careful coming back this switchback. It is a very lumpy, bumpy corner.
And what's interesting here for me is Jason Lamy-Chapuis. He's had some calf problems, but talking to him, he said that he really thought he was over, and now he's decided, thank you very much, I'm not going to do all the donkey work. Some of you guys are going to have to do the work as well.
I'm amazed with this, David. This is gold medal at stake. I know they're in silver medal position, but it looks like they're letting Eric Frenzel have it all his own way.
Yeah, well, the thing there is, with that little dawdle, that gave him an extra 2 seconds.
It did, and I can understand nobody wants to lead along this straight, because like yesterday, it's a strong wind into your head there, but they need to keep momentum if they want to close this gold medal breakaway.
So Eric Frenzel coming back into the stadium, having completed the first 2.5 kilometers, and he looks a little lonely out there, but actually, do you know, they've allowed him a very comfortable ride, and as he goes out, you see, they'll be coming in, and he can take advantage of the big screen as well and look up and check, and you can see that effectively he's got the best part of 100 meters.
Well, he has. There seems to be a little bit of energy now to try and make a move after the first time round of 4 times around this 2.5 kilometer, and the momentum, the energy is coming from Akito Watabe. Realizing, well, this is good news. It was 25 seconds, David. It's now down to 13.8. Frenzel went out very hard, and has that been his downfall at the moment?
Yeah, Edelman 52 seconds behind, Bill DeMong 53. And also in that chasing group, having lost time, Jan Schmidt, 56 seconds off. That's in the third group. And there's 10. And that's Bill de Mong leading that posse. Now, we were a little uncertain. Bill de Mong's put in some good cross-country races. And remember, he's an Olympic and a world champion. But has he got the pace to actually get up to contest the real challengers? And Grobak there, you can see Grobak, he started 61 seconds back, so he's taken time out of the lead as well. But he's got to go hard on this first loop, because he really has to, in the first half of the race, get himself back into contention.
Very much. Grobak started 1 minute 1 second, 10 athletes within 1 minute, and of course Bill de Mong was that, well, 58 seconds behind, and he's closed that down. Brian Fletcher there, 109 behind now.
Magnus Moen, 137, so that's 97 seconds. So he's actually only made about 8 seconds, as you see confirmation on your screen there. That is the differential. And the gaps there are significant. Tino Edelman, 53, he's got to get motoring if he wants to get into this. And at the moment, you have to say first blood to Eric Frenzel, because he's won that first 2.5 kilometers.
He has. They're trying to breathe on him, though, David. They're trying. There was a lot of energy in that chasing group. The two fastest on the track that I'm getting, Brian Fletcher alongside Magnus Moen, they both pulled back 22 seconds in the first 2.5 kilometers. Oh!
And there's Akito Watabe, and he's chased by Johannes Ridsek, and there's Jason Lamy-Chapuis in a much more sensible position. Yoshito Watabe just behind the Frenchman, and just losing touch there, Horvath Clemenson.
I'm a little surprised, David, that Frenzo, with that grid advantage just 1 lap ago at 25 seconds, he's allowing the chasing pack to close him down. It will now form as one lead group.
Well, this was the question that I really posed, Mike, whether he was going to try and defend 21 seconds or whether he was going to accept that he would be reeled in, and then he goes into the pack, shares the donkey work, and allows himself to conserve energy for a breakaway, because I think he'll be thinking of that rather than a final sprint in the last rotation.
Well, he needs to back off. I agree that that's what he's going to do now. He's going to hide in the pack, rest for a short while.
Well, Jason Lamy-Chapuis leading from Akito Watabe, the last Japanese man to win this normal hill Gundersen. Kenji Ogiwara, he won it in 97, and actually he won it in 93 before that, which was the third time that Falun had hosted these Nordic Ski World Championships. And the pace is on now, and Frenzel has got going. It's interesting that he chose such a different track. And here, the chasing pack, and that is Alessandro Pittin leading in the blue of Italy. No Italian has ever achieved a medal in the normal hill. Oh, and that's looks to be, is that Hideaki Nagai?
It is indeed, and I didn't see exactly what happened there, but as the race goes on, look how broken up this track is and how deep it is against the ski. The ski is buried in this deep, wet snow.
I would say that was an unforced error, because I didn't see anybody else get involved in the fall, but of course that knocks the stuffing out of you. And now it's Jason Lamy-Chapuis swinging back into the back straight here, and they're all in Indian file.
Well, the first lap, David, took 6 minutes 23 seconds, and so the second rotation with well, that was on Eric Frenzel. He certainly backed off the pace, allowing this lead group or chase group to catch him.
Really pleased to see Akito Watabe being aggressive up there. His brother Yoshito is also still in touch. Clemenson in the white there. The shortest way, but not the fastest way, as Jason Lamy-Chapuis comes round here. Every time they come round here on each of the rotations, they have the opportunity to also just get a feel for the track and for that final burst. Is there a faster side to the track? Is it over to Jason's right, or might it be where he is, or possibly to his left?
Well, certainly earlier today, David, when so many skiers, of course, all the cross-country skiers out as well, it absolutely was quicker on the edges. Both edges were much faster than the centre.
And looking at the chase, here comes Pittin, a bronze medalist on the normal Gundersen in the Olympics of 2010. Alessandro, who is a talent, now 25, but he's lost too many seasons through injuries and illness, and he's just looking at 25.7 seconds, and Pittin started 76 seconds behind Eric Frenzel. So that is a really aggressive, positive piece of skiing.
Now, and David, if the lead group, it's a little bit cat and mouse, nobody wants to lead it. If they back off, you just feel the energy and the speed that Pittin has. He may well close that gap and get involved in the medals.
De Mong in there, 46 seconds, but De Mong, remember, he started 58 seconds back, so he's not made the progress that he would have needed to. And Bill De Mong, who, along with Todd Lodwick, have flown the flag for North American Nordic combined, and that's the situation at the half distance. The defending world champion ahead of Johannes Ridsek. And when you come down to these men, 5,000 meters in which to find 45 seconds, that's becoming tougher and tougher. Well, Jason would love to actually win this and defend the title. He's got 7 World Championship medals. Actually, so has Eric Frenzel. So there's a little bit of competition in that regard here. And Frenzel, well, if he were to win here, become the 4th German athlete to win not once but twice this prestigious title, along with the likes of Uli Belling and Ronnie Ackerman and Georg Thoma. And just to quickly repeat, because they are going slightly pedestrian here, I would say. This is not the high tempo, and there's Pittin in the background. He can see this, and maybe they'll now take notice of him as they spin round there.
Well, it's certainly a benchmark, and Jason Lamy-Chapuis, he absolutely saw Pittin, and this is an important moment in this race for Pittin. He needs to bridge this gap, and then he can get some breathing time, recovery time, before, or as we're now over halfway and coming back in towards the steeper hills in the stadium.
Well, Mike, you were absolutely right. There is a bit of cat and mouse going on here, because they're not at the highest of tempos, and now, although the camera foreshortens it, you can see Pittin there, and worth again remembering he started 76 seconds behind, and he's now 7.9 off. And to be honest, Mike, he's the only one of the real chasing group who's made an impression.
And it's an amazing impression. He's put so much work into this first 5 kilometers. He's put all his cards on the table, and I think it's a great strategy. It's an all or nothing strategy.
But look at Jason, he's standing tall. They are not racing at great speed here.
They're not, and well, it's still hurting Håvard Clemensen at the back, but we know it's not his strength, and the cross-country ski's better jumper. Pittin is going to bridge this gap, and then he needs to breathe in, get a rest in at the back of this pack. Interesting me that Frenzel hasn't taken on any of the work. He's just hid away in 4th place, looking very relaxed though.
But what also now comes into consideration, Mike, as they get close to coming back into the stadium, and next time it'll be the last rotation, who is going to make the break and where are they going to make the break? Now, it could be on that serious uphill.
I think this will be the break, not this rotation, but the next time as a tester. But David, we must check out the glide factor on each of the skis down this big drop-off. That is a factor back into the stadium the next time round.
So we're thinking that this could be the crucial place for the move. And there you can see Pittin has joined in the fun. And wouldn't it be something, Mike, if he could come through and get a medal and do something, as I said a few moments ago, that no Italian has done, which is to get a Nordic Ski World Championship medal on the Gundersen normal hill formula.
Incredibly, he's pulled back 1 minute off or from Eric Frenzel. I know Eric maybe backed off on the second rotation, allowing the chase pack to catch him. PT in his skis, look at his skis, definitely gliding positively well.
4 top 10s in the World Cup, and also one has to remember that he finished that frustrating 4th in the Olympic Games on this hill. So that's also worth taking into consideration. It was Frenzel, Watabe and Krog, and then Pittin, and then Moen, and then Ridsek. But on this day and in these conditions, it seems that even the likes of Magnus Moen can't really get into contention here. You're looking at number 11. This is
Jürgen
Grobak, yeah. And I just think that he's too far off this now.
His form, David, must be dropping off, because when Pittin came past him, I know he tried to stay with him, but he had no chance of staying with that amazing pace from the Italian. And Pittin now needs to get up with the lead group, I think. Just rest in with the top 3 or 4, if he can, if you can call this rest.
Look at this. Takes that tight line. He's taken the most direct line on the left of your screen. And of course, that has moved him almost from the back. And he is right at the front. And he did that with the greatest of ease.
Well, nobody else wants to take it on. And maybe once he gets his breath back, Pittin now needs to make a big decision, because he's running so much faster. Does he try and stick with the pain? He's pulled back a minute already. Does he try and push this pace? I don't think this is his best strategy to lead it now, but it might give Grobak a chance to pull back, because they really are going pedestrian.
Jason Lamy-Chapuis, then Johannes Ridsek, then it's Eric Frenzel. So Pittin leading the way. You can see he's not the tallest of racers. He's quite compact, and this would be quite something. And at the moment, I think that Akito Watabe has got to be very alert to what's going on here, because he has got the possibility to medal here, but he's got to be very close to the action. Grobak, still the best part of 20 seconds to find. So just caught a glimpse there of Fabian Riesel in this second group. And nobody really, apart from Pittin, has made a serious impression. In there, Tino Edelman, and he started, 56 seconds back, and he's never got into this race. It's almost, Mike, as if so many of the racers here actually have accepted that really they couldn't close that gap.
These conditions are making that difficult. So wet, such difficult conditions to try and get compression through your skis and really give a big push. Although Pittin has proved us wrong there, he absolutely wanted to close this gap. I'm amazed that Pittin is at the front. Oh, that's why the pace is dead, because he doesn't want to push his pace. He's worked so hard to claw back his minute 16, but nobody else is willing to take the pace on.
Yeah, Jan Schmidt's really gone out like a light. I don't know what happened exactly to him, but clearly he's in trouble, and he's right at the back of the field.
Oh, I do worry about Pittin. Why didn't he rest in a little bit longer behind at least 1 or 2 athletes? It is windy up this section of the course as well.
Yeah, but he is exuding some confidence up here. I mean, he wouldn't be doing that, Mike, unless he felt really comfortable. And he's got Jason Lamy-Chapuis, and then right beside him or behind him is Johannes Ridsek. And Ridsek actually is a man also that you need to keep very much on the right side of. He is the 6th best skier of the season.
Pittin going for a break, David. He's just testing the pack. Can he get away? Jason Lamy-Chapuis, he's the one who's been looking around. He's forever looking over his shoulder, just checking out those behind him. Just expect Jason will take a break soon.
Yeah, Ridsek, after he won the Junior Worlds back in 2011, really started to establish himself. And last season, he was runner-up in the season-long World Cup to Eric Frenzel, but things are now hotting up here. The tempo has risen, and Pitten's asking some questions now, and he's gone ahead of Ritzek. There's Akito Watabe, and Jason Lamy-Chapuis doesn't look comfortable here.
David, Frenzel is not at the races. He's tried, but he's having a terrible day on the cross-country skis.
Akito Watabe now, at least he was alert to what was going on. He's closed up into third place, got 3, 4, 5 meters ahead of Frenzel. Now Pittin dawdles a little bit up front here. That gives an opportunity for the likes of Jason Lamy-Chapuis to get back in. And who knows, even Frenzel, Yoshito Watabe, then in white it's Clemenson. These are the only guys that are in it.
Clemenson's been on survival mode, David, for 2 laps. He's just hanging on in there and beginning to suffer even more at the back.
26-year-old Akito Watabe hails from Nagano, the host for the 1998 Olympics. I think he's looking pretty comfortable in third place there. He's not done any work. Ooh, well, he nearly messed it up himself there. That was a loss of concentration as much as anything else.
Pittin with the clear run up front. He needs to find something special. He's found something special today already, but he needs to keep this pace strong. He is the fittest man out here today. There he goes.
Yeah, and going with him there is Ritzek, and those two are really having a fight for the gold medal. And then Jason Lamy-Chapuis with Akito Watabe fighting for the bronze. Eric Frenzel just behind them as well, but Pittin full of confidence, and he's going to get the run down into the stadium of the right-hander, and then it's the dash to the line. 100 meters or so to go now, and Italy on the verge of history as they come round here. Pittin skipping round.
Johannes Ritzek is doing absolutely everything right, just trying to stay with this incredible pace. Pittin is inspired today.
Well, this is what his season's been all about. And remember that bronze medal in Whistler, that posted the ability that this man has. But as I said, he's had injuries, he's had illnesses, but now he's back to something like the form that really earned him the early promise that he has had as a junior.
Oh, and he showed all that promise at 18-year-old, 19-year-old, especially on his cross-country skis. The German coaches were pleading with Eric Frenzel to find something for that bronze medal. Ritzek skis, David, a little faster.
And Ritzek, I would say, is in the better position here going up the hill, because he can come up on the outside, he can close the door on Pittin. Now it's up to Pittin whether he can counter-attack, but look at Ritzek. He's just getting those extra centimeters out here, and those are all counted. He goes across the bridge with a 2.5 meter lead, and those two fighting for the gold medal. As for the bronze medal, well, you saw it was Akito Watabe, and also in there Jason Lamy-Chapuis, but Ritzek has taken this apart, and it's going to be the 23-year-old from Oberstdorf who's going to get Germany's first gold medal of these championships. And Germany, such a powerhouse, so successful, and he gets the gold. Pittin accepts that he'll get the silver medal, and across the line the defending world champion takes the bronze. Frenzel is in fourth place. Clemenson has come up, and the two Japanese, Akito Watabe and Yoshito Watabe, just went out like candles blown out.
Incredible. I tell you what an inspired day from Johannes Ritzek. He knew he had to suffer the pain, the discomfort from the early break that Pittin gave. And Pittin, he almost gave up in the last 300 meters. Didn't get in behind Ritzek for the most important right-hander and run into the finish. But what an inspired performance from Johannes Ritzek, and he's delighted.
Jürgen Grabach just coming across the line. Well, if you just look at the recent record, Mike, of German success in this particular event. 2003 in Val di Fiemme, it was the first of Ronnie Ackermann's 2 victories. He defended in Oberstdorf, he won again in Sapporo, then Todd Lodwick got it in 2009, then Frenzel got it in 2011, then Jason Lamy-Chapuis, and now it's another German victory. But also worth stating that, you know, Pittin has now become the first Italian to medal in the normal hill Gundersen since the racing began, and that goes back to Johannesburg in 1925. So for Pittin, he couldn't live with Ridsek, but he's probably pretty delighted he's got a silver.
Ah, what a great day for Italian combined, and what an incredible fight performance. He had to pull back 1 minute 16. He did that early, and I do feel that had he hid a little, recovered a little longer in that pack, he had the pace, he had the sprint, but at the very end he took so much of the lead time that he had nothing left in the last 400.
So gold to Germany, silver to Italy, bronze to France. And now world champion. So they still come home here, but Johannes Ridsek, just to reflect on him, he's had 5 World Cup victories. He currently lies 6th in the World Cup rankings, but this is all about something very different, isn't it? Winning, given the opportunity that he had, and it only comes along once every 2 years to be a world champion. And actually, although Pittin was confident, Ridsek was also pretty strong. And I think it's fair to say that Pittin did not lose the medal. I think Ridsek won the medal, and I think Pittin won the silver.
I know exactly what you mean. Ridsek had desire at the very end. When the body was most fatigued in those last 400 meters, he decided to take another hit, another attack. And Pittin, having done everything that he'd done throughout the course, he just didn't have the answer on that one time of asking. And it's desire, isn't it, at the end of the day? Ridsek had the desire, and Pittin couldn't quite hold the last few meters.
I mean, that's a huge boost for Italian Nordic combined, who have this base in the Groden Valley from Val Gardena down to Selva di Val Gardena and Santa Cristina, and that is a real boost for them, for Pittin to get a medal like that.
Great day for Italian combined. But the biggest surprise, Eric Frenzel. What on earth happened? You mentioned that Ridsek's had 5 wins in his career. Of course, Eric Frenzel's won 7 times this season. He's had form, but maybe it was the conditions. It just didn't suit him. But he wasn't at the races on his cross-country skis.
So Pittin takes the silver medal here, but the honours of the day certainly go to Johannes Ridsek. Pittin in 2nd place, Jason Lamy-Chapuis, the defending champion. I think he will be not that unhappy, Mike, that he's got a bronze medal, because he hasn't had a brilliant campaign.
He hasn't, and of course he's missed a number of the World Cups this season, and maybe that's, he's gone away, he's gone and put in his preparation for this special 10 days of racing, and he's back.
And he has been talking about the fact that this could well be his last competitive season. And here you see the finish again. Now this is where Ridsek makes the move on the outside, and we were seeing that even in the classic sprints yesterday, that you don't actually want the inside line. And there, as he comes through, Pittin just has a look around, accepts the fact that he can't do anything about Ridsek, but is delighted to take silver, and Jason equally pretty happy with the bronze.
Ridsek just cannot believe it. The effort he put into that race, and excellent performance.
Disappointing for Kito Watabe in Japan. I thought that he would be thereabouts. He seemed to realize where he needed to be, but as you can see, both brothers eclipsed by Horvath Clemenson, who looked as if he was really struggling right the way through the journey. Taylor Fletcher there in 19th place for the United States. Bill DeMong in 25th spot. Magnus Moen 158. I think he realized that actually this was beyond him on this particular day, and has to live to fight another day. And there's a pretty good result there. Ben Berend of the United States, a newcomer to the US team. I know the gap's big, but he did quite well on the jumping hill. Obviously needs to strengthen on the cross-country trails.
Indeed, and at 19-year-old, big experience, big learning experience, and I think we're going to see so much more of that of Berend.
So Ridsek, a world champion, and as I said, Germany now on the gold medal roster.
See Frenzel on the right-hand side, nothing left with 10 meters to the line. And well, he'll be asking himself some questions tonight, and I think he'll be very disappointed, having had started this one with 21 seconds lead.
Yeah, the last World Championships 2 years ago, Johannes was 21. He was still in the junior ranks and finished down in 30th place. So the progress that he's made since Val di Fiemme in 2013 is really worthy of note and pretty remarkable, actually, because not everybody wins a junior world title and then goes on to make the transformation into the elite squad. But such is the depth in that squad, which is headed up and managed by the legendary Hermann Weinbuch, that actually I think Germany always expects its athletes to do particularly well. And you can see there, they've got Frenzel in there, they've got Riesel in the top 10 as well. So that's looking quite promising for the team relay and also possibly the team sprints. Well, of course, we've still got plenty of business to do here, and 2 more competitions on the menu. The next one is another gold medal competition, and it's the 4th edition of the Women's Ski Jumping World Championship on the normal hill, the same hill that the Nordic combiners used a little earlier in the afternoon. And following that, it'll be the qualification for the men on the same hill for their medal competition tomorrow. 69 of them involved. 10 are pre-qualified, so 59 are looking for 40 places. So that will be competitive, and 2 really competitive events to come today. But Rydzek, the man of the moment, and he won it convincingly. And Pittin, well, nobody cut 76 seconds back like he did. I mean, that's the best performance in terms of running on the track.
Inspired performance, David, and take my hat off to him to have closed that gap and then decided to take the pace on. He wanted that gold medal, but having put in so much of the work early on, he just didn't quite have it. There he is in the final few meters.
Alessandro, 25 years of age, and absolutely delighted that he's come back to medal-winning form. You know, Whistler's a little distant in the memory, got a bronze there, and we all thought fantastic. Remember, he wasn't a world junior champion once. He was a world junior champion twice, in 2008 and 2009. So this is a real realization of his potential. So time for Mike Dixon and myself to take our leave. Just a quick mention, tomorrow, skiathlon day, Marit Bjørgen, Peter Northug, both in action.